Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you my productivity and workflow hack. And my system involves Google Calendars as my digital tool. It involves a bullet journal, which is my physical notebook and pens, and the Best Self Journal, which is a goal-setting entrepreneurial organizational system. So to start my system, the very first thing I do at the start of the month or the end of every month is to create the goals for my following month. And that could be anywhere between 4 to 7 goals. And I use the Best Self Journal to break out the goals. The Best Self Journal has a great template for taking a really large, unattainable goal and breaking it down into smaller chunks until it actually seems manageable. So I recommend printing off the template, the PDF that they have online, or purchasing a copy of the Best Self Journal. I do this because planning really is everything. So in order to actually get 4 to 7 big goals done in a month, everything does need to be laid out as clearly as possible, and it has to start at the very largest pieces and then down. And from there, I take my 4 to 7 tasks that I've broken out, and I can now estimate how many hours it will take me to get each one done because I have done that process of making them into smaller attainable chunks. So after I take this estimated number of hours, I divide up the hours by task, by week, and then I drop them into my Google Calendar. And I do this for the entire month. So I go day by day and I make them either reoccurring events based on the task, or I just put them in depending on when I need to get them done to fulfill my allocated number of hours per task. This will take a while, so I would allocate 1 or 1.5 hours just to get this all in your system, because it will take a couple of iterations to get it right. The reason for this is that every hour becomes accounted for, and that way you can actually squeeze the best and the most out of your day if it's actually pre-plugged into your calendar. Second, you would set up your physical bullet journal. So I would start by dividing your journal day. Every single day gets 3 different sections. So you can see here that very first section on the left says my goals, my targets, and gratitude. That's what I call my soft pages. This middle section is my to-do list, and this little sliver on the end is my mini reoccurrings. So to the to-do list, I would start by setting up that list setting up the template in the list at the start or end of every week, depending on how your organizational system flows. And I would start matching all of your to-do items with what you've already put in your Google Calendar. Of course, your to-do list is going to change day to day and you're going to add things to it, so you'll have plenty of room to add on top of the things that you've already allocated with your estimated tasks. I would also color code all of your items based on the project or the task, as well as your personal items. That will allow you to see how much time you're spending on each item, as well as call out to you certain things that you might forget. That sliver I was referring to on the very end of the journal is my reoccurring mini tasks. So for example, every Monday I know that I need to push out a tweet for the company, as well as Wednesday and Friday. So that little item gets dropped in on the side. So those are things that are reoccurring that I need reminders for and are not big enough to put in my to-do list, but certainly need to happen. I add personal items like eating my vitamins or drinking water, enough glasses of water per day in that section, so it's almost like a habit tracker. The last section, which was actually the first in my diagram, is what I call a soft pages, and that includes 3 items. My goal for the day, so it's a big picture goal, and then 3 targets that I want to achieve, which usually match up to my to-do lists, and then 3 things that I am grateful for. So by filling this out first thing in the morning before you start your workday, can really set the stage for what you're trying to achieve, and then set you up for a happy start to the day by doing the gratitude portion of that. So this is what a completed 4-day sketch ends up looking like. So this very first section here is your soft pages. So you can see my goal, today's targets, and there's 3, and then gratitude, and there's 3 of them. And then you've got all of my to-do items, and you can see the color coding, and then you can see on the right hand side the mini reoccurring tasks, which are also color coded. So next, going back to this item of dividing the hours into the calendar, I would also recommend for every day you add in two 30-minute miscellaneous slots. I find this to be really helpful for things that come up during the day or in the morning that you had no idea were going to be part of your plan. And if you've got your entire day blocked off with all of the big goals and tasks that you've already set for yourself, you'll start to get overwhelmed by not having time to finish the things that come up in day-to-day life. I would also add in recurring time slots for meals and working out, as well as things like meditation or yoga or whatever you think has to happen every day. Lastly, this I learned through some pain, is adding an hour to clear inboxes. Nowhere in my schedule did I have that, and it caused me to have really backed up inboxes by the end of the week. So having this built in will also allow you to choose what time of day you want to actually do some of these things, and then things can fit around it. The beauty with Google Calendars is if you need to reshuffle things around, it's just an easy drag and drop. And at the end of the entire system, I find that when I tried this for over a month and a half, my productivity went up and my level of enthusiasm over my projects went up because they were actually getting done at the pace that I had set forth for them. One thing to keep in mind with this system is that you can very easily overbook yourself. So to be cautious about overburdening your entire day back to back with tasks without breaks. And I would absolutely put in breaks if you feel like you're one of the people that would work for 12 hours straight without taking a break and not realizing it until you're burnt out. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or tweet at me. I'd be happy to help or further explain my system. I hope this helps with your productivity needs.